Alright, here we are at the start of the rebuild of the 180. Some improvements. MP60, MP40, two MP40s. Rock's been curing for 3 weeks. I'm using oyster shell as my sand base this time. I may put a little bit of live sand in there. I'm not quite sure yet. But I hope using this oyster shell doesn't come back and bite me in the ass. So, alright. That's the new aquascape. Everybody over there is not happy. They want their house back. So, I'll get it to them. So, now I got to fill it full of water and continue the cycle process. Alright, we're at the filling up stage. And we'll keep going. I actually kind of like this look. It's looking badass. Flat rock there. And there's another flat rock. Plenty of places for the fish to hide and plenty of places to place the corals. This is probably one of the better looking displays I've done yet. So we'll keep going. Alright everybody, welcome back to the 180 rebuild. We are now cycling the tank, and it's going really good. You can see I'm starting to get the diatom starting to grow on the rock. This is the second week now. I had all the stuff out in barrels. You'll see it in the beginning of the video where I did in a barrel outside. And it's been like 93, 94 degrees outside, so I think it helped the process. But we're looking good for the total rebuild. Auto filter, 180 auto filter sump rebuild, 180. Water is a little cloudy, but this is week 2. As you can see, I'm not running the filter yet because I don't want the bacteria growing on the filter yet. Because I don't want to have it so that if the filter's in there but it's not turning, the bacteria is going to grow on the filter. And that's not what I want. I want the bacteria to grow in the rocks. And I think what helped speed it up a little bit also is the fact that I took one of the marine pure blocks that I had in here originally and put it over in these tanks where everybody's at. But I took one out, and I know it's got all the bacteria in it, and then I put it down under here, which has got feather dusters on it already, and they didn't die with the ammonia spike. So we're actually looking pretty good. So that's a good sign. So I think because the rocks were really super white, and you can see how white that is? See how white that is there? And look at the rest of the rock. You can see that I'm going through my cycle. Which I've already hit 2 parts per million on the ammonia, and now the nitrites are spiking. So that means I'm getting close. So that's a good sign. Even and I used crushed oyster shells. I didn't use sand. I'm getting tired of sand being blown around. I can't turn the power heads up and all that. So that's why this time I used crushed oyster shell. You know, a 50-pound bag, you know, it was $20 at Tractor Supply. So I'm going to try that. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake, but we'll find out. And if I did, you know, while it's still in the cycle zone, if I made a mistake, I'll take them out. But I think it's going to work out just fine. The sand, the real fine sand, I'm not impressed with that. You can't turn the power heads up, and you know you need flow in your tank. So that's one of the reasons why I tried this now. But she's cycling really good. Protein skimmer's on, but it's not doing anything, you know. So, which I expected, you know, it will here shortly, but at the moment it's not. So that's just to be expected. And then to start colonize my blue coralline algae, I'm going to introduce some of the ones that are in this tank. And I'm gonna, you know, like I got one in there that's like so purple, it's unbelievable. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do scrapings on it, and I'm gonna put it in a blender to help colonize it in this tank. So I think we're doing good right now. And like I said, that's not on yet, you know, which is the whole reason why we're doing what we're doing. But it's just not ready yet for the filter, because I don't want the bacteria growing on the filter when it's not going to turn. I want it growing in the rock. This, you know, it was live rock, now it's dead rock, but I'm turning it back to live. Even the crushed oyster shell, I want it to colonize with the bacteria. So, oh, and here's another thing too. I got another MP60 over here, which I can't even hear it running. And then I got an MP40 in the back, and then I got two MP40s on this side. I can tell you right now, I think I'm going to switch to all MP60s. Just getting the light coming from the door. But I think I'm going to go to MP60s. I might even try a new CP55 that Jabo came out with, just for the heck of it, and maybe replace those two, and maybe that one. I'm not sure yet, but I don't know. We're in progress here. I'm getting close, and this is after 2 weeks of going through my cycle. I mean, you can see that clearly. You see all the white spots that are just haven't, you know, really started with diatoms yet. I mean, it's all over the, you know, the oyster shell, because that stuff was white. It's now like a yellowish color. The water's not crystal clear yet, as I expected, you know, while cycling the tank. But we're on the right track. And the other thing is, too, lights. See these? These are these cheap Chinese LEDs. They're done. These things are gone. They're history. I'm going back to the T5 HOs. I'm gonna make my own. I'm really done with this. These things are freaking horrible. The light that comes out of it is disgusting. That's why they're so cheap, and I can see why now. And I don't like the fact that I can't dim them below 20%. You know, I'm using the Bluefin controller. I've tried everything. I've tried the LDD drivers to you know, to try to make them so that I can dim them down below 20%. It's too much. You know, if you can't get below 20%, you're hurting your stuff, and I ain't doing that. We're not starting off that way. So I got some T5s coming. I got 2 footers, and they're the 4 bulbs. So I'm going to change these out. I'm changing all these out. I can't stand these things. I don't care if they're $80 or whatever. They're not worth nothing to me. They're not doing any good. You know, if I can't turn below 20%, what's the point? You know, I'm not going to burn my corals. So that's where I'm at with this. So I got some coming, and I may do a separate video on just, you know, what I'm going to do with the lights. I may do a T5 4 bulb with a LED mixture, but they're not going to be with these. I can tell you that right now. I've got some other LEDs that I'm going to maybe mix with them to try to get some good effect out of it. So All right, well, this is the update. Week 2, 180 rebuild, roller filter sump. We'll see you in another week.